Inside the life of Condoleezza Rice in 2025, her private world, home tour, car collection, and net worth. Before she walked the halls of power in Washington, before she stood at the center of global diplomacy as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, Condoleezza Rice was just a young girl growing up in the segregated South. But today, she's not only one of the most influential women in American history, she's also a woman of remarkable wealth, grace, and quiet luxury. So how did a girl from Birmingham, Alabama, rise to global prominence and build a personal empire worth over $12 million? Buckle up, because we're about to pull back the curtain on the elegant, extraordinary world of Condoleezza Rice. We'll take you behind the gates of her stunning home, peek into the garage where her sleek cars reflect more than just horsepower, and explore the real story behind the fortune she's built. This is more than a look at net worth. It's a journey through legacy, ambition, and transformation. Let's rewind to where it all began. Condoleezza Rice was born in 1954 in Birmingham, Alabama, a city on the front lines of America's civil rights struggle. Her name, Condoleezza, was inspired by con dolcezza, an Italian musical term meaning with sweetness. It's a name that would come to represent her unique blend of poise, intellect, and strength. She was the only child of two deeply devoted educators. Her mother, Angelina, a teacher of science, music, and oratory, and her father, John Wesley Rice Jr., a high school counselor and Presbyterian minister. Their legacy was rooted in the American South, stretching back to a time when their ancestors worked the land as sharecroppers after emancipation. That history of hardship, resilience, and determination was passed down through generations, and it fueled Condoleezza's climb to the top. Through PBS's Finding Your Roots, Rice learned her ancestry is 51% African, 40% European, and 9% Asian or Native American. Her maternal lineage traces back to the Takar people of Cameroon, a connection that only deepens the richness of her personal story. She grew up in Birmingham's Titusville neighborhood, a mostly African-American community, and later moved with her family to Tuscaloosa. There they lived on the campus of Stillman College, a historically Black institution where her father served as dean of students. Despite the racial barriers of the era, her parents never allowed those limits to define her future. They insisted on excellence, and Condoleezza delivered. By the age of 3, she was already learning French, music, and ballet. And by 15, she was a skilled pianist with dreams of gracing the world's great stages. But life had a different symphony in store. While attending the Aspen Music Festival during college, Rice realized that her musical gifts, impressive as they were, might not take her as far as she'd hoped. That realization, however, didn't end her story. It sparked a new one. She shifted gears and turned her focus towards something else that fascinated her: international politics. After taking a single course on Soviet relations, she was hooked. She traded piano keys for policy papers, and the rest, as they say, is history. She graduated from St. Mary's Academy in Denver at just 16, then enrolled at the University of Denver, where her father taught. Though she started as a music major, that pivotal class in international politics changed her trajectory forever. Condoleezza Rice carved a path few could even imagine, becoming a defining voice in foreign policy and one of the most powerful women the world has ever seen. And with that success came wealth, power, influence, a life that blends substance with sophistication. Today, her $12 million fortune isn't just a number, it's a testament to decades of hard work, intellectual firepower, and strategic brilliance. So what does that fortune look like in real life? What does it say about her values, her journey, and her enduring legacy? Stick around, because we're diving even deeper into the life of a woman who rose from the segregated streets of Alabama to the highest echelons of American power and built a luxurious, inspiring world all her own. By the time most people are just figuring out what they want to do with their lives, Condoleezza Rice was already rewriting the rules. In 1974, at just 19 years old, Rice graduated cum laude from the University of Denver with a degree in political science. 1 year later, she had already earned her master's from the University of Notre Dame. But Rice wasn't stopping there. In 1979, she packed her bags for the Soviet Union and headed to Moscow State University, immersing herself in the world she'd later help shape through policy. That same year, she interned at the Rand Corporation in California, further sharpening the skills that would make her a powerful voice in global strategy. This wasn't just book smarts. This was the making of a future stateswoman. In 1981, Rice achieved what few do. She earned her PhD in political science from the University of Denver. Her dissertation, a deep dive into Cold War military policy in Czechoslovakia. Her command of Soviet affairs wasn't just academic, it was razor-sharp, timely, and highly sought after. That expertise landed her a fellowship at Stanford University, where she planted roots that would grow into one of the most influential academic careers of her generation. She quickly became a rising star in international security studies, one of just 4 women in that field at the time. Let that sink in. The early 1980s marked a turning point. Though raised in a Democratic household, Rice made a bold move in 1982. She switched to the Republican Party. Her father's own political journey played a role. Denied the right to vote by Alabama Democrats under Jim Crow, he had turned Republican, and that experience shaped her perspective. But it wasn't just family. Rice also grew disillusioned with President Jimmy Carter's foreign policy, which she felt was too passive during a tense era of global conflict. That decision would launch her toward the highest rungs of American power. By 1987, she had risen to associate professor at Stanford, specializing in Soviet studies. Her sharp insight didn't go unnoticed. Brent Scowcroft, former National Security Advisor, saw her brilliance and invited her to join the National Security Council under President George H.W. Bush in 1989. Rice was now at the table during a critical moment in world history, the end of the Cold War. She played a key role in shaping U.S. policy as the Soviet Union unraveled and helped navigate German reunification, one of the most complex diplomatic undertakings of the century. In 1993, Rice shattered yet another glass ceiling when she became provost of Stanford University, the first woman and first African-American ever to hold that position. That same relentless drive, now honed by years of experience, would soon catapult her back into the world of high-stakes politics. Following the controversial 2000 presidential election, George W. Bush tapped her to become his national security advisor. It was a history-making appointment, the first woman to ever hold the role. But history wasn't done with her yet. On September 11, 2001, Rice had a meeting scheduled to discuss a new national security strategy. That meeting never happened. The world changed instead. In the days and years that followed, she became one of the key architects of America's post-9/11 response. Alongside CIA Director George Tenet, Rice was involved in the decision-making process that authorized controversial interrogation tactics, including the use of torture on suspected terrorists. She also became one of the administration's most vocal supporters of the 2003 invasion of Iraq, a move that reshaped the Middle East and defined a generation of U.S. foreign policy. In 2005, after Bush's re-election, Rice was appointed Secretary of State, becoming the first African-American woman to ever hold that title. Her mission? Nothing short of reshaping global diplomacy. She spearheaded what she called the transformational diplomacy agenda, pushing to spread democracy, especially in the Middle East. She faced off with nuclear threats from Iran and North Korea, advocated for peace in volatile regions, and logged more miles than any Secretary of State in U.S. history. Everywhere she went, she left an imprint, sometimes controversial, always significant. After leaving office, Rice didn't fade from view. She returned to the world that first launched her: academia. Back at Stanford, she resumed her role as professor of political science and joined the Graduate School of Business in a leadership position. But don't mistake that return as a retreat. It was a full-circle moment, a homecoming for a woman who had already changed the world and now sought to shape the next generation of leaders. Condoleezza Rice's story is one of unstoppable momentum, from prodigious student to global power broker, from classical pianist to political powerhouse. She has crossed borders, shattered expectations, and redefined what leadership can look like in America and beyond. And through it all, she's remained unapologetically herself, smart, strategic, and always several steps ahead. Condoleezza Rice is no stranger to breaking barriers and making her mark in unexpected places. As if her groundbreaking political career wasn't enough, she's continued to extend her influence beyond the halls of power and into some of the most prestigious spaces in the world. In 2012, she made history once again, becoming one of the first two women ever admitted to the Augusta National Golf Club, one of the most exclusive golf courses in the world. But that wasn't all. In 2013, Rice was selected as a founding member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, further showcasing her diverse talents and interests. Whether it's sports, politics, or academia, Rice is proving she's a force to be reckoned with in every arena. And let's not forget her lifelong passion for music. From the age of 3, Condoleezza Rice has been playing the piano. By 15, she was already performing Mozart with the Denver Symphony Orchestra. Even during her demanding tenure as Secretary of State, Rice made time for music, performing regularly with a chamber group. Her talent didn't just stay behind closed doors. Yo-Yo Ma, the world-renowned cellist, invited her to perform Brahms at the National Medal of Arts Awards in 2002, an experience that showcased her incredible versatility. Rice's life is the embodiment of balance, fusing intellectual brilliance, political power, and personal passion. Her journey is proof that with drive, skill, and an openness to breaking boundaries, anyone can leave an indelible mark on the world. Her legacy isn't just about the positions she's held or the policies she's shaped. It's about the fact that she's excelled in multiple fields, inspiring generations to believe that they too can pursue greatness in whatever they set their minds to. And speaking of excellence, let's talk about Condoleezza Rice's personal haven, the home that reflects the success she's achieved in both her career and life. In 1998, Rice made a savvy real estate move, purchasing a gorgeous property in Palo Alto, California for just $500,000. Located in the heart of Silicon Valley, just minutes from Stanford University, this was more than just a place to rest. It was an investment and a private retreat from the bustling world. Fast forward nearly 2 decades, and in 2017, she sold the home for an impressive $2.3 million, more than quadrupling its original value. But this wasn't just a transaction. It was the sale of a home that spoke to a life of refinement, elegance, and success. The estate was set on lush, beautifully landscaped grounds, featuring 9 fruit-bearing trees and graceful palms. The serene atmosphere was enhanced by a water-efficient artificial turf and a flowing waterfall that made the outdoor space ideal for both quiet reflection and lively entertaining. It was a peaceful sanctuary, tucked away from the buzzing tech world nearby, yet still in the heart of it all. As you stepped inside, you were greeted by grand double doors opening into a soaring 2-story foyer with 25-foot ceilings and an elegant staircase that set the tone for the home's sophisticated charm. Every room was thoughtfully designed to be both inviting and luxurious. The chef's kitchen was flooded with natural light and equipped with high-end stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, and a spacious island perfect for preparing everything from casual meals to gourmet feasts. The estate had plenty of space for both quiet moments and grand gatherings. With 3 living rooms and 2 formal dining rooms, it was clear this was a home designed for living and entertaining. Each bedroom was a private retreat, complete with walk-in closets and spa-inspired bathrooms. The master suite was the epitome of luxury, offering a private fireplace, dual walk-in closets, and a personal balcony with sweeping views of the property's stunning grounds. The ensuite bathroom? Think high-end spa with a hot tub, steam shower, and yet another fireplace. It was relaxation and opulence in one. But Rice didn't stop at the main house. The property also featured a beautifully renovated accessory dwelling unit, ADU, a charming 2-bedroom, 1-bath guest house with its own private front yard. Whether it was for family, friends, or a personal office space, this addition was just another layer of elegance and functionality to the estate. This mansion wasn't just a place to call home, it was a symbol of Condoleezza Rice's remarkable journey. From the White House to the golf course, from academic halls to concert stages, Rice has shown the world that with vision and perseverance, anything is possible. Her life and her home stand as a testament to the power of ambition and the rewards of pursuing greatness in all areas of life. From 2008 to 2018, Condoleezza Rice owned not 1, but 2 stunning properties in Palo Alto, the city she's long called home both professionally and personally. While one was a quiet, lush retreat, the second was a modern masterpiece, equal parts sleek and practical. She bought this elegant second residence for $1.3 million and a decade later sold it to none other than Stanford University, where she's taught for years, for $1.9 million. Smart investment? Absolutely. But more than that, the sale reflected her deep and lasting connection to Stanford, the place where her academic and leadership journey continues to thrive. This wasn't just any house, it was a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom contemporary gem designed for modern living. Thoughtful from the ground up, it offered just the right mix of sophistication and function, making it a perfect fit for someone like Rice, who effortlessly juggles high-powered meetings with quiet moments of reflection. One standout feature, a flexible ground floor suite, complete with its own full bathroom. It was the kind of space that could easily serve as a guest suite, a peaceful office, or even a haven for visiting professors or close family. Step upstairs, and the heart of the home unfolded, an open-concept living space where the kitchen, dining, and living rooms flowed together in a seamless, light-filled design. Tall ceilings and massive windows brought in sunshine by the bucket load, making every corner of the home feel warm, bright, and alive. But what really set this place apart? The views. With sweeping vistas of a nearby lake, the home offered rare serenity in the heart of bustling Silicon Valley. Whether it was sipping her morning coffee on the private balcony or watching the sunset after a long day, Rice had a front-row seat to peace in nature, something even power players need to recharge. Just like her real estate choices, Rice's cars are all about making a statement, a mix of presence, elegance, and precision. Let's take a look at 3 standout rides from her collection that say as much about her personality as they do about her status. The Cadillac Escalade 2008 Bold. Commanding, unapologetically powerful. The Escalade has long been the SUV of choice for public figures who want space, comfort, and a sense of control, and Rice fit the mold perfectly. With leather seating, wood accents, and a design that turns heads, this wasn't just a ride, it was a rolling fortress, perfect for someone navigating life in the spotlight. BMW X5 E53, Rice also rolled in a BMW X5, the very first SUV ever built by BMW and a game-changer at the time. Blending the punch of a sports sedan with the space and presence of a luxury SUV, the X5 was sleek, smart, and efficient. Just like Rice, it was built for performance under pressure, combining brains and brawn in a stylish package. Tesla Roadster. And then there's the wild card, the one that really turns heads. The Tesla Roadster, Rice's most surprising pick, is a fully electric, high-speed sports car. Silent, fast, and futuristic, the Roadster captures a side of Rice that's deeply tied to innovation and forward thinking. As someone who's helped shape the world's future, it's only fitting that she'd drive a car that does the same. Each of these cars tells its own story. One says strength, another says strategy. The last question marked vision. So here's the question. Which one fits your style? Drop your pick in the comments below. Condoleezza Rice has always carved her own path with discipline, poise, and purpose. She's kept her personal life deeply private, choosing not to marry or have children. That decision has drawn curiosity over the years, but it's never overshadowed her accomplishments. In fact, it's only added to the intrigue around a woman who has devoted her life to public service, academia, and global leadership. Rice's story is one of unwavering independence. She's proof that a life of service doesn't have to follow a conventional script. It can be powerful, private, and impactful all at once. Before Condoleezza Rice became a household name in global politics, she nearly took a different path, one that involved an NFL star. In the 1970s, she was briefly engaged to wide receiver Rick Upchurch. But something didn't sit right. Deep down, Rice knew it wasn't her future, so she made a tough call and walked away. As her biographer Marcus Mabry put it, she just knew. That kind of clarity, it would become a defining theme in her life. Rice's personal journey has been shaped as much by loss and resilience as it has by public achievement. In 1985, she faced the heartbreaking death of her mother, Angelina, to breast cancer. Rice was just 30. It was a profound loss, one that struck her in the heart of her rising academic career. Her father, Reverend John Wesley Rice, later found love again and remarried in 1989. He remained with his second wife, Clara Bailey, until his passing in 2000. Through it all, he was Condi's rock, a man who instilled in her the power of education, faith, and persistence. And faith remains a core part of her foundation. A devout Presbyterian, Rice has been an active member of churches in both California and Alabama, including Menlo Park Presbyterian Church. She often credits her spiritual life for giving her the strength and clarity to navigate high-stakes diplomacy, public scrutiny, and personal trials. From 2003 to 2017, Rice shared ownership of a home in Palo Alto with longtime friend Randy Bean. The property was initially purchased with a third-party Stanford professor, Coit D. Blacker, who later transferred his share to Rice and Bean. This arrangement, revealed in Glenn Kessler's book, The Confidant, sparked public curiosity about the nature of their relationship. But Kessler himself made it clear. No evidence suggested anything beyond close friendship and shared investment. Just two smart, accomplished women sharing a well-located home near the Stanford campus. If you think Condoleezza Rice stopped at politics, think again. In 2012, she broke one of the oldest gender barriers in American elite society, becoming one of the first two women ever admitted to Augusta National Golf Club, the exclusive home of the Masters. She walked through that clubhouse not just as a member, but as a symbol of quiet revolution. 2 years later, ESPNW named her to their Impact 25 list, celebrating her contributions to leadership in sports. Before she negotiated international treaties, Rice had another dream: to be a concert pianist. By 15, she was already performing Mozart with the Denver Symphony Orchestra, having won a student competition. Though life eventually steered her toward foreign policy, music never left her side. She still plays in chamber ensembles, and she's graced stages with musical legends like Yo-Yo Ma and Aretha Franklin. One of her proudest moments, performing Brahms with Yo-Yo Ma in 2002 at Constitution Hall for the National Medal of Arts ceremony. And just when you think you've got her figured out, she throws a curveball. On The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Rice revealed her favorite band is Led Zeppelin. Yes, that Led Zeppelin. She's a die-hard fan of their raw energy and musical complexity, proof that even the most buttoned-up leaders can rock out behind the scenes. Rice's love for the arts hasn't just been personal, it's been institutional. While serving as Secretary of State, she held a seat ex officio on the Board of Trustees for the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. And as President George W. Bush's time in office ended, he appointed her to a 6-year term on that board. It was a perfect fit for someone who sees the arts as essential to both diplomacy and humanity. Whether she's sitting at a Steinway, speaking at a summit, or walking the fairways at Augusta, Condoleezza Rice continues to rewrite what leadership looks like. She's not just a former Secretary of State, she's a musician, trailblazer, scholar, and strategist who's built a legacy on discipline, vision, and quiet confidence. Thanks for watching. If Condoleezza Rice's journey inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We've got more deep dives coming your way into the lives, homes, and legacies of the world's most fascinating figures. Which part of her story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay curious.